Your eyes are broken, not metaphorically, not eventually, right now, and I can prove it. In South Korea, 90% of teenagers can't see clearly beyond 20 feet without correction. 90%. 2 generations ago, that number was 20%. Evolution doesn't move that fast. Genes don't rewrite themselves in 50 years. This isn't natural selection. This is something else entirely. Your eyes, the most sophisticated optical instruments on Earth, refined over 500 million years, are physically deforming to match the world you live in. The eyeball itself is growing longer, stretching like warm glass, permanently warping the hardware. You are witnessing real-time evolutionary mismatch. Let's start with what you're doing right now. You're staring at a glowing rectangle, roughly 14 to 24 inches from your face. Your eyes are locked in what photographers call macro mode, extreme close focus. The tiny muscles inside your eyes, the ciliary muscles, are clenched tight, bending your lens into maximum curvature, straining to resolve pixels. You'll do this for 8, 10, maybe 14 hours today, and tomorrow, and the day after. Here's the thing, your eyes weren't built for this. Think of your eye like a camera, because that's literally what it is. A biological camera with a lens, an aperture, and a sensor. But unlike the camera in your pocket, your eye can't switch lenses. It's stuck with one forever. And for 500 million years, that lens had one job: the horizon. Scanning for predators, tracking prey, reading the distance between you and danger. Your ancestors didn't need to focus 12 inches away. They needed to see everything all at once, as far as possible. But now, you've locked your biological camera in macro mode permanently, and your body is adapting. In East Asia, where students average 16 hours a day indoors under artificial light, the adaptation is staggering. In Singapore, 83% of young adults are now myopic. In urban China, the number is climbing toward 90% in major cities. This isn't a regional problem. This is a preview, because the rest of the world is following the same path. Same screens, same indoor lives, same results. By 2050, 25 years from now, half of Earth's population will be myopic. Half. That's nearly 5 billion people whose primary sensory organ has been permanently altered by the environment we built. And here's where it gets strange. Your eyes aren't just failing to adapt to modern life. They're succeeding. They're doing exactly what evolution programmed them to do: change shape to match the visual environment. The problem? The environment is wrong. Your eyeball is supposed to be a perfect sphere. When light enters, it bends through the cornea, passes through the lens, and lands precisely on the retina at the back. Perfect focus. Myopia happens when the eyeball becomes an oval. It stretches. It grows too long from front to back. Now, light focuses in front of the retina instead of on it. Distant objects blur into mush. You've probably been told it's genetic. And sure, genes play a role. But genes don't explain how myopia rates exploded from 20% to 90% in 2 generations. Genes are blueprints. Environment is the construction crew, and the construction crew just showed up with the wrong plans. Here's how it works. When you focus on something close, a book, a phone, a screen, your ciliary muscles contract, the lens thickens, the eye works harder, and deep inside the retina, cells detect this prolonged near-work signal. The body interprets this as a mismatch. If we're focusing this close all the time, the eye must be too short. Let's make it longer. So it does. The sclera, the white outer shell of your eye, starts to stretch. Slowly, millimeter by millimeter, month by month. The eyeball elongates. You don't feel it, there's no pain. But by the time you realize distant objects are blurry, the change is permanent. You've become a screen animal. Your hardware has been rewritten. And the most disturbing part? This is working as intended. Your body is doing exactly what it evolved to do: adapt. The tragedy is what it's adapting to. Quick sidebar, if you're watching this and thinking, wait, this is happening to me right now, hit that like button, because spoiler alert, it gets weirder. And if you want to understand the rest of the human glitches we're all running, subscribe to SAPIEN. We decode the past, present, and future of what it means to be human. All right, back to your eyeballs. Let's rewind, way back. About 540 million years ago, during the Cambrian Explosion, something revolutionary happened. Life discovered the camera. The first true camera eye appeared, a lens, a chamber, a light-sensitive surface. It was a biological arms race. See farther, see faster, survive. For the next 500 million years, every creature with camera eyes, from fish to birds to primates to humans, optimized for one thing: distance, the horizon, the tree line, the shape moving through tall grass. Your eye evolved in open savannas under endless skies. It needed to resolve a predator at 300 meters. It needed to track the arc of a thrown spear. It needed depth, motion, and infinite focus range. There was no close-up mode, not for hours at a time, not every single day. When early humans sat around a fire making tools, sure, they focused up close, for minutes, maybe an hour. Then they looked up, they scanned the distance. They let the ciliary muscles relax. That relaxation, that's the signal. That's what tells the eye, you're the right size, stop growing. But now, you never look up. Here's where the dopamine theory comes in. For decades, scientists assumed screens were the problem, and they're part of it. But the real culprit is more primal: sunlight, or rather, the complete absence of it. Your retina contains dopamine-producing cells. When you're outdoors, exposed to natural light, somewhere around 10,000 lux of brightness, those cells flood your retina with dopamine. Dopamine acts like a stop signal. It tells the sclera, don't stretch, don't grow, we're good. Indoors, you're getting 500 lux, maybe less. Your dopamine system barely activates. The stop signal never fires. The eye keeps elongating. Studies on children in Taiwan confirmed it. Kids who spent just 90 minutes a day outdoors had dramatically lower myopia rates. Not because they stopped using screens, they still did, but because they got the light. The light is the code. The eye is waiting for the sun, and we're raising an entire generation that never sees it. You're not living indoors by accident. Modern society requires it. School, work, commutes, screens, artificial light, climate-controlled boxes. We built a world optimized for productivity, and we locked our children's eyes in a dark room with a glowing rectangle for 12 hours a day. The result? A global epidemic of biological deformation. And it's about to get worse. Let's talk about what's coming, because screens in front of you, that's old technology. The future is screens on you. Apple Vision Pro, MetaQuest, the entire XR industry is building toward a world where you don't look at a screen, you wear one, and that introduces a whole new problem. It's called the accommodation-vergence conflict. Here's how it works. In the real world, when you focus on something close, two things happen simultaneously. Your eyes accommodate, the lens bends to focus, and they converge. They angle inward to point at the object. These two systems are hardwired together. They've been linked for 500 million years. But in VR, the screen is always 2 meters away. Always. Even when the virtual object looks like it's 10 centimeters from your nose, your eyes are still focusing at 2 meters. So your brain says converge inward, but your lens says focus at 2 meters. Mismatch, conflict, confusion. The result? Eye strain, nausea, headaches, and in the long term, we don't know yet, because no generation of humans has ever spent 8 hours a day in a fixed focal plane. What happens to a child whose eyes never practice real depth, whose accommodation system is trained on a virtual distance that doesn't exist? We're about to find out, and hey, if that doesn't make you want to smash that subscribe button and join us as we document humanity's slow-motion transformation into digital cyborgs, I don't know what will. We're living through it, might as well understand it. So, here's the story. 500 million years ago, the camera eye evolved to scan the horizon, to see distance, to survive in open space under bright sunlight. 2 generations ago, we moved indoors. We built cities of boxes lit by artificial bulbs. We invented screens that demand constant close focus. We eliminated the sun from daily life, and the eye, that ancient, faithful instrument, did what evolution programmed it to do. It adapted, not to see better, to see differently. We talk about transhumanism like it's some far future concept, brain chips, genetic engineering, cybernetic enhancement, but it's already here. We've already altered our primary sensory organ to merge with our machines, not through surgery, through environment. You didn't choose this, but your body made the choice for you, because that's what bodies do. They match the world they're given. The question is, what world are we giving the next generation? Because by 2050, half the planet will be myopic. High myopia, the kind that risks retinal detachment, glaucoma, permanent vision loss, will have tripled, and we'll be wearing the screens. We traded the horizon for the pixel, distance for closeness, the infinite for the 14-inch glowing rectangle. Your eyes aren't broken because they failed. They're broken because they succeeded. They adapted to the world we built, the world that never looks up. If you want to understand more about how our ancient biology collides with modern life, if you're curious about the hidden evolutionary forces still running inside you, this is what SAPIEN is about. We explore the human story, past, present, future, one biological glitch at a time. Next time, we're diving into why your brain physically cannot handle the dopamine overload of the algorithm. It's going to hurt, in a good way. See you then. And maybe, just maybe, go look at the horizon today.